Welcome to an exclusive look into the life of boxing legend Larry Holmes. We are going beyond the headlines and into the heart of his world. Known for his technical mastery in the ring and his incredible longevity, Holmes' life off the mat is just as intriguing as his legendary 48-0 start. In this video, we'll uncover the dynamics of his rock-solid 47-year marriage. We will also take you on a panoramic tour of his sprawling Pennsylvania estate and his curated collection of luxury automobiles. We'll delve deep into his net worth in 2026, revealing how his financial landscape has evolved from a kid washing cars to a mogul presiding over a multi-million-dollar empire. Buckle up. At the height of his career, during an era where heavyweights were the biggest stars on the planet, Larry Holmes enjoyed a peak net worth of approximately $30 million. This considerable fortune was a direct result of his extraordinary success and discipline in the ring. Over his professional boxing career, Holmes earned around $70 million in prize money alone. This was a staggering figure for the late 70s and 80s. However, unlike many athletes who faced severe financial difficulties or total bankruptcy after the final bell, Holmes' story stands as a rare beacon of success. It was defined by a legendary sense of caution and a blue-collar respect for every dollar earned. Furthermore, his strategy wasn't just about saving. It was about aggressive, smart acquisition. He focused on tangible assets, real estate you could walk through, and businesses that served his neighbors. He ensured his money was working just as hard as he did in the gym. By 2026, Holmes' net worth remains a robust and stable range between $18 million and $25 million. He proved that the smartest move in boxing is knowing how to leave the ring with your brain and your bank account intact. Born on November 3, 1949, Larry Holmes was one of 12 children in a family that lived on the razor's edge of survival. Their life in Easton was defined by the cramped quarters of public housing and a constant, humbling reliance on welfare. These early adversities didn't break him. They fueled an extraordinary rise. He was driven by a desperate, soul-deep need to provide a better life for his mother and his many siblings. Holmes' boxing journey began in his late teens. By his early 20s, he was serving as the ultimate apprentice. He worked as a sparring partner for the three greatest heavyweights of the era: Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, and Ernie Shavers. This elite allowed him to study the greatness of his idols while simultaneously learning their vulnerabilities. He watched how Ali used psychological warfare and movement, how Frazier utilized unrelenting pressure, and how Shavers generated terrifying one-punch power. By the time he turned professional in 1973 at the age of 23, he had established himself as a surgical, thinking man's fighter. He moved through the ranks with a left jab that was soon honored by historians as the greatest the division had ever seen. He earned the nickname the Easton Assassin because he didn't just punch. He dismantled opponents with clinical, cold-blooded precision, using that jab as both a defensive shield and a rhythmic metronome that broke an opponent's spirit before their chin. In 1978, Holmes reached the pinnacle. He defeated the powerhouse Ken Norton in a 15-round war that is still used as a benchmark for heavyweight heart. This victory kicked off a historic 7-year reign where he became the gold standard of the division. He defended his title against 20 consecutive challengers. This included legendary encounters with Ernie Shavers and Trevor Berbick, as well as the highly publicized money fight against Jerry Cooney in 1982. The Cooney fight, in particular, was a financial watershed moment. It was one of the first truly global closed-circuit mega-events, earning Holmes a then-record purse that he immediately diverted into his Easton real estate ventures. The most emotionally complex moment of his career came in 1980 during his victory against his former employer and mentor, Muhammad Ali. While the win established him as the undisputed king, it was a bittersweet coronation. Larry was seen visibly holding back in the later rounds. He was begging the referee to stop the fight to save his friend further damage. The victory brought a unique challenge. He had to win over a global public that was mourning the decline of Ali and looking for someone to blame. Larry took that heat and turned it into the fuel that kept him undefeated for nearly half a decade longer. His first professional loss didn't come until 1985 against Michael Spinks. It was a controversial decision that left him just one win short of matching Rocky Marciano's 49-0 record. This narrow miss arguably fueled his longevity, as he felt he still had something to prove to the history books. Yet, Holmes' resilience was his true trademark. He refused to let one loss define him. He staged several high-profile comebacks into his 40s, most notably in his 1992 title challenge against Evander Holyfield. There, he proved he could still compete with a new generation by taking the much younger champion the full distance. He eventually fought his final match at the age of 52, defeating the king of the four-rounders, Erik, in 2002. He retired with an incredible record of 69 wins and only 6 losses. This achievement was immortalized by his induction into the International Boxing Hall of Fame in 2008, cementing his place as one of the top 5 heavyweights to ever lace up the gloves. Outside the ring, Larry Holmes' enterprises became more than a business. It was a local empire built on brick-and-mortar stability. He didn't just lend his name to projects for a fee. He invested in the physical infrastructure of Easton, transforming his success into local jobs. Much like Holyfield's Real Deal Ventures, Larry created a diverse business portfolio. He revitalized his community with a world-class training facility, a popular nightclub named Champ's Corner, and a restaurant where he could often be found greeting fans. His most savvy moves involved aggressive commercial real estate acquisitions. Located at the aptly named 101 Larry Holmes Drive. This wasn't just any commercial space. It housed high-profile tenants ranging from the federal courthouse to Fortune 500 financial institutions like Bank of America and Smith Barney. He personally oversaw the property management for years, ensuring that the Champs building was the most prestigious address in town. He eventually sold the complex for a massive multi-million-dollar profit in 2014, proving his timing was just as sharp in the boardroom as it was in the ring. This success is best symbolized by his majestic estate in Palmer Township, just outside Easton. Valued at approximately $1.5 million, the 11,000-square-foot mansion is a masterclass in custom opulence without the hollow flash of Hollywood. Designed with a nod to the flamboyant style of the entertainer Liberace, the home features grand, sweeping hallways adorned with boxing memorabilia, a professional-grade private gym where the champ still maintains his fitness, and a master suite that offers panoramic views of the hills he once ran for training. The estate features multiple guest wings for his children and grandchildren, emphasizing that for Larry, wealth was always about family cohesion. The crown jewel of the property or swimming pool complex. Built in the unmistakable shape of a boxing glove, the pool is a literal splash of his personality. It serves as a permanent, liquid monument to the hands that built his fortune and the long, grueling career that allowed him to live like a king in the very same town where he once washed cars for pocket change. It is arguably the most famous custom pool in the sports world, symbolizing the heavyweight nature of his success. His taste in automobiles further reflects this preference for classic American luxury and enduring prestige over flashy, high-maintenance European sports cars. The collection is headlined by his signature white Rolls-Royce Silver Spur, a pristine relic of his championship years that he still maintains in showroom condition. For his daily needs in 2026, he relies on a flagship Cadillac Escalade, which provides a modern security, tech suite, and road presence fit for a heavyweight legend. Larry values the Escalade for its utility, often using it to haul supplies for his charity events or to drive his grandchildren around town. Over the years, his garage has also seen the presence of high-end Lincolns and high-performance German engineering, like the Mercedes-Benz S-Class, preferred for its understated elegance. Each vehicle in the fleet is meticulously maintained, serving as a testament to his respect for the rewards of his hard work and his unwavering preference for old-school comfort over modern-day trends. His taste in luxury extends to a sophisticated watch collection that reflects both his blue-collar roots and his championship status. One of the highlights is a classic Rolex Day-Date in 18K yellow gold, the legendary President watch. Fitting for a man who governed the heavyweight division for nearly a decade. His collection also includes high-complication pieces from Patek Philippe, which he values for their craftsmanship rather than their flash. These watches aren't just mere accessories. They are wearable trophies and investment-grade assets. He often says that a watch should tell the world who you are without you having to say a word. Behind the wealth and the victories lies a remarkably stable personal life. This is almost unheard of in professional sports, where the curse of the champion often leads to broken families. Larry has been married to Diane Robinson since 1979. This 47-year union provided the emotional foundation and the no-nonsense advice Larry credits for his financial and mental health. Diane has been more than a partner. She has been a co-strategist in their wealth-building journey, often handling the finer details of their philanthropic and community engagements. While Larry was the face of the brand, Diane was the architect of the family's stability, ensuring that their household remained a no-ego zone. His legacy is carried forward by his 5 children, who remain central to the family's various business operations and community outreach programs. As of 2026, this entrepreneurial spirit has been successfully passed down to the next generation. His son, Larry Holmes Jr., has stepped into the spotlight as a major player in the regional real estate sector. Larry Jr. doesn't just manage the family's legacy holdings. He has pioneered new ventures, including the recent launch of Legend Cigar Bar, a luxury lounge that serves as a high-end social hub for the Lehigh Valley elite. The bar is more than a business. It's a living museum, featuring rare artifacts from Larry's career and providing a velvet rope experience that has attracted celebrities and sports legends. By diversifying the family's reach from office spaces into luxury hospitality and service-based retail, the Holmes family has ensured that the Easton Assassin brand remains a dominant and evolving force in Pennsylvania's economic landscape. Philanthropy has also been a cornerstone of Larry's life outside the ring. Understanding the hardships of his own youth, he and Diane established the Heart of a Legend Foundation, formerly the Larry Holmes Heart of Champion Foundation. The organization has expanded significantly by 2026, focusing its efforts on pediatric cancer care, diabetes research, a cause close to the champ's heart, and the massive revitalization of inner-city parks and playgrounds in Easton. He doesn't just write checks. He personally partners with local organizations like the 3rd Street Alliance and Safe Harbor to help those struggling with homelessness and hunger. He has been known to show up unannounced at local shelters with truckloads of food and supplies. He is also a regular, hands-on supporter of the Boys and Girls Clubs, frequently visiting local chapters to provide one-on-one mentorship and share his story of resilience with at-risk youth. He teaches them that the most important fight isn't the one in the ring, but the one against their own circumstances. Much like his contemporary Muhammad Ali, Larry has used his global status to raise millions for medical research and local infrastructure, proving that his heart is just as big and powerful as his legendary punch. Larry Holmes' life story is a masterclass in resilience, evolution, and the long game. He understood the value of a dollar because he knew the pain of not having one. He understood the importance of home because he built his own from the ground up, brick by brick. He didn't let the bright lights of the boxing world blind him to the reality of the future. He remains a figure of immense respect, not just for his legendary jab, but for his grace, his loyalty, and the sheer intelligence he displayed in navigating the pitfalls of fame. He is the living embodiment of the American dream, showing that with discipline, a sharp jab, and an even sharper mind, you can go from washing cars to owning the dealership. If you enjoyed exploring the fascinating life and empire of Larry Holmes, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the lives of your favorite icons. Let me know what you think of Larry's boxing glove pool in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video. Goodbye.